Minecraft Dungeons. On September 29th, 2018 at Minecon Live, it was announced that a brand new Minecraft-themed dungeon crawler was on the way. I sat in the audience of Minecon Live as this game was announced. I've been looking forward to it ever since it was announced, and now I've had the opportunity to play the game in its beta phase, and I played it a lot. In this video, I'm going to cover absolutely everything that I can think to mention in order to prepare you for the game's eventual release on May 26th, 2020. Gameplay mechanics, graphics, controls, music, everything. Hopefully, by the end of this video, you'll be as excited as I am for the release of Minecraft Dungeons. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and let's get right into it. So, where do I begin? Minecraft Dungeons is an official spin-off game to Minecraft made by Mojang. It's of the dungeon crawler variety wherein you play the game from an isometric third-person perspective. The goal of the game is simply to dungeon crawl, progress through the story, level up, collect loot, and become stronger along the way. The story of this game is pretty simple. An arch-illager child seeks refuge in a village, gets booted out because they're racist or something, finds a glowy cube of power, and becomes the child king of the illagers, who then proceed to round up all the villagers like it's 1941 or something. It's your goal as the player to free the villagers and eventually defeat the arch-illager. All in all, it's pretty simple. So, what does playing this game actually feel like? Let's answer that question in the literal sense. What does playing this game feel like? What do the controls feel like? Honestly, they are absolutely intuitive. If you're using a mouse and keyboard, you can just hold your melee attack key down and move the mouse in the direction that you want to go. If you're using a controller, it's going to feel pretty natural as well. If you happen to not be a fan of the game's default keybinds or controls, you can also remap any ability to any other button. Whether you're playing with a mouse and keyboard or a controller, this game's going to be pretty easy to get used to, especially because there just aren't that many controls in this game to begin with. Move around, melee attack, ranged attack, open up your map or your map overlay, use a potion, leap around, and your artifacts. Artifacts, what are those? Well, for that, let's take a look at our inventory screen. The inventory screen actually has a lot going on, so let's run through it step by step. First off, your actual inventory, where anything and everything that you collect will be stored. Among the items that you can collect are emeralds, melee weapons, armor, bows, and artifacts. Artifacts are your primary use abilities within Minecraft Dungeons, and there are two ways to obtain them, either from the various loot drops throughout the game, or by trading emeralds with the wandering trader at the campsite. These abilities vary wildly, and there's a lot of them. So as to not spoil the entire game completely for you, I'll go through the three that I'm using at the end of the beta. First off, Boots of Swiftness, which can be used every 5 seconds to give me a movement speed boost for 1.7 seconds. Because I like to run through entire packs of mobs, this one's useful to move as fast as I can, as often as I can. Next up, the Deathcap Mushroom, which quite simply gives me increased movement and attack speed for 8 seconds or so. Again, really useful for my playstyle when I like to charge in on sets of mobs all at once. And finally, the Wind Horn, which, when activated, pushes all of the mobs that are within a couple of yards or so away from me. On its own, this ability is not too special, but for me, it works in conjunction with the next mechanic that I'll get into, which are item enchantments. Whenever you level up within Minecraft Dungeons, you get enchantment points. These points can be used to enchant your items. Just about every weapon, armor piece, and bow in the game can be equipped with some form of an enchantment or multiple. The enchantment that any given item has is pretty random, and each type has their own arrangement of possible enchantments. So melee weapons have enchants unique to melee, and the same goes for armor and bows as well. Each enchantment has 3 possible levels, and each level costs 1 more enchantment point than the level before it. So level 1 costs 1, 2 costs 2 extra, and 3 costs 3 extra on top of that. So if you want to max out a specific enchantment, it'll cost you 6 levels total. Again, to avoid spoiling the entire game's list of possible enchantments, I'll simply list my loadout at the end of the beta. On my diamond sword, I've got the Poison Cloud enchantment, which has a 30% chance to summon a poison cloud that deals damage to enemies within the cloud for 3 seconds. Not too bad. The second enchantment is absolutely god tier, however. Leeching, which at enchantment level 3 restores 8% of the mob's health to me for every mob that I kill. Considering my kill as many things as fast as possible playstyle, you can probably see why this ability is so absolutely good for me. Next up, my bow. I don't use my bow too often, but come on, how can I not equip this bow? It's just silly. The 2 enchants I have here are Radiant Shot, which sometimes spawns a healing zone, and then Growing, which causes the arrow to grow in the air as it flies. Combined with the fact that this specific bow can hit multiple targets at once by ricocheting from one enemy to another, it's actually a pretty powerful enchantment. And finally, my melee armor enchantments. First up, Frenzied. When I'm at less than half health, my attack speed is increased by 30% for the level 3 enchantment. Pretty good. And last, but certainly not least, is the final Shout enchantment. Whenever my health drops below 25%, all 3 of my artifacts are used at the same time, which is precisely why I have the Wind Horn in my arsenal. If I'm about to die, having every mob suddenly be pushed away from me is absolutely critical for staying alive. So the second to last gameplay mechanic that we're going to take note of are Consumables. Simply put, every mob in the game has a chance to drop some form of instant consumable. These range from things like TNT, which allow you to pick up and then launch a block of TNT in any direction that you wish, or a food consumable like apples, pork, and bread, which give you a brief regeneration effect. Or you can straight up pick up potions, which give you a wide array of potion effects like swiftness and strength. So, while enchantments and consumables are the key ways in which you can acquire potion-like effects, there are 2 final item-based mechanics that I need to cover: item rarity effects and item salvaging. Every item in the game has some form of classification, whether it's a common item, rare item, or a unique item. There isn't much of a difference between common and rare items, but unique items have their own unique effect attached to them. My unique diamond sword deals extra damage. My unique pink scoundrel bow has a chance to enrage the mobs that it hits. My unique bone bow has the growing enchantment by default. And my unique archer's armor provides me with a 15% movement speed increase. Pretty cool. And finally, there's the salvage button, which allows you to trash any item that you don't want and get some emeralds back in the process to use for purchasing artifacts from the wandering trader, or for purchasing random armor and weapons from the blacksmith. If an item that you trash has enchantments on it, you'll get the full value of your enchantment levels back when you salvage the item. So as you're leveling up, if you enchant an item with 12 total levels of enchantments, in order to get those 12 levels back, you must salvage the item. Yeah, throwing away my diamond pickaxe felt bad, but it is part of the game. So alright, with the inventory and item mechanics out of the way, what does this game actually feel like to play? Speaking honestly, I feel this is the first time that Mojang has completely nailed a spin-off title. While the game is very clearly and heavily inspired by Diablo 3, there's enough unique elements within the game to make it worth playing. The difficulty curve is great. Whenever you select a mission within the campsite, you can choose between one of 7 difficulties within that level, which dictate that level's difficulty, as well as the power level of the gear and artifacts that can drop within. Once you defeat the Arch-Illager final boss within the default difficulty, you can increase the game's overall difficulty to Adventure Mode and then again to Apocalypse. So in order to defeat the game on its highest difficulty, Apocalypse, you have to play through it 3 times, just like on Diablo 3. The whole game flows really well, as I explained before. The graphics look incredible in terms of how much it feels like Minecraft, and the music, some of which you're hearing in the background right now, is extraordinary. Seriously, the sound design within this entire game makes it almost worth playing on its own. So now, what don't I like about the game? Considering that the game is still in its beta phase as of me making this video, there are only 2 items that I would like to go over. First off, this game is begging for a level editor. One of the levels within the beta, the Creepy Crypt, is an entirely randomized mega dungeon. It's different every time that you play it. That on its own is really fun and adds a lot of replayability to the beta, but if users were able to create their own levels, that would really separate this game from the pack. While that might be difficult to implement if Mojang isn't already on it, what they absolutely should implement is hardcore mode. The premise is simple. If you die, your character is converted to a non-hardcore character. Diablo has it, Minecraft has it, sort of, and it would absolutely be perfect for this game. If Mojang implements a hardcore mode, the race to defeat the Arch-Illager on Apocalypse hardcore mode will be absolutely intense when this game releases. Mojang, please implement hardcore mode. Please. I'm begging you. And that just about covers the Minecraft Dungeons beta. While I didn't go over the story mode in intricate detail, that just leaves more for you to experience on your own on May 26, 2020, when this game finally releases. And I can tell you right now that I'm going to be live streaming myself playing this game when it drops over on my twitch.tv page at twitch.tv/AntVenom. So be sure to follow the page if you're not already. I also have 2 archive streams of me actually playing the Minecraft Dungeons beta, so if you want to see the beta in greater detail, be sure to check out those videos on my twitch.tv page. So anyways guys, that just about does it for me for now. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like on it, because it would really help out myself, the channel, and the video quite a lot. So I hope you all enjoyed. My name is AntVenom, and I bid you all farewell. Thanks so much for watching.